Hi guys, welcome to Essentials for Millennials. I hope you guys have seen the previous video in which we explained about the benefits of solving a Rubik's Cube. Now when it comes to solving a Rubik's Cube, there are many ways. One is by sheer logic. Well, for that you need to be a genius. If not, then you can watch this video. Now when it comes to solving Rubik's Cube using algorithms, that is how we generally solve Rubik's Cubes. We look at the different patterns that are there on the Rubik's Cube, and based on what those patterns are, we apply certain algorithms. Algorithms are nothing but a set of moves which when repeated will help you solve the Rubik's Cube. Now the general rule here is that the more algorithms that you know, the shorter the process of solving a Rubik's Cube and hence faster. But that comes at a downside. Now algorithms are not very easy to remember or to memorize. So if you have a good memory and you can memorize a lot of algorithms, then you can actually memorize all of them and your Rubik's Cube is nothing but just 5 or 6 algorithms and that's it, you are done. But today what we're going to do is take a look at the 6 or 7 basic algorithms which, if you know, they are not hard to memorize. I will guide you through how to memorize them also. And once you memorize those 6 or 7 algorithms maximum, what you can do is you will actually be able to solve the Rubik's Cube. Yes, it will take longer. You may have to repeat the same algorithms a couple of times, but the benefit is that you have to remember just 6 or 7 of them and you can actually solve a Rubik's Cube. And with enough practice, and by enough practice I mean once you learn these algorithms within a week or so, you can actually solve the Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes. I myself have been solving it for a very long time, and using the same process I've been able to bring my time down to under a minute, and it is very easy. So let's get started. Alright, so generally a Rubik's Cube has 6 basic colors, and for a standard Rubik's Cube, opposite white is always yellow, opposite red is always orange, and opposite green is always blue. And when you actually look at them in this particular combination, you actually have blue, on the right side you have red, and below both of them you have white. So this is how the colors are oriented in a basic Rubik's Cube. Now you may find other Rubik's Cube which have different colors, or they are not placed in this particular orientation, but it actually doesn't matter. But because once you understand the concept, no matter how the colors are oriented, you can actually solve them. Now for this particular video, how I consider is that I consider the white to be as the base of the Rubik's Cube, meaning whenever I hold a Rubik's Cube, I'm going to consider that white is always facing down, and hence the yellow is always facing up, and the other colors can be facing the sides. I suggest this because white and yellow are very easy to identify when you are trying to scan through the cube, trying to look out for the pieces, and it'll actually be easier for you if you also consider the same. But it does not matter, you can actually solve the Rubik's Cube from basically keeping any color as the base, but for this video we're going to keep it as white as the base. So whenever I'm holding down like this, if you see a yellow on top, you know that white is at the bottom. So solving a Rubik's Cube is actually 6 basic steps. So let me just scramble it first and just quickly show you what the 6 basic steps are. It's scrambled right now, and as you know, the white at the center means that this face is going to be white. As I said, I'm going to consider white to be as the base, so I'm always going to hold it like this. So the first step in solving a Rubik's Cube is something known as the cross. The cross is nothing but the foundation of the Rubik's Cube. It's just like how when you construct a building, you always need to have a foundation at the bottom, and when it comes to a Rubik's Cube, the cross is what you call as the foundation. Is nothing but white followed by white in the four edge pieces and the corresponding color here. So I'll just quickly do that, and then so you guys understand what I'm talking about. There you go. This is what you call as the cross. So you have the white center, the white for edge pieces, and the corresponding color. That means white, you have orange, and then it's matching with the orange center. Similarly, on the other side, you have white, white, blue, and blue. White, white, red, and red, white, white, green, and green. So that's your first step. Next thing what you do is you're going to solve the bottom corners, the bottom layers. So you have the bottom layer, the middle layer, and the top layer. So the bottom layer corners is what we are going to solve next. So that is your second step. Yep, there you go. So you have now solved the entire bottom layer, that is the four corners over here. Don't worry guys, we are actually going to look at all these steps in detail, but right now I'm just quickly taking you through the steps involved in solving a Rubik's Cube. So the first thing is the cross, second thing is your bottom corners. Next you have your middle layer and the middle edge pieces. So you have four edge pieces in the middle layer which you are actually going to solve. And luckily for us, there's already one which is already solved, the orange and blue. So now let's look at the other ones. Right, so now we have actually solved the middle layer as well. As you see, the entire two layers is completely solved. Now as you notice, whenever I'm solving or moving the Rubik's Cube around, the yellow side is always facing up. So that was the first three steps: the cross, the bottom corners, and then the middle edge pieces. Those are the first three steps. Now the fourth step is the yellow face, not the yellow layer as such, but just the yellow face of it. So that's it. So that was the fourth step, which is the yellow faces. Now the next step is the top layer corners. So just the corners alone we are going to solve, meaning the edge pieces may or may not be solved once I'm done with this step, but the four corners at the top will be solved. Yep. So as you see, the four corners are solved. The corner here, the corner here, the corner here, and the corner here are solved. But the edge pieces are not solved, and that is actually your last step. So the fifth step was the corners, and your sixth step or the last step is basically fixing the edge pieces over here. And that's it guys. So that was the sixth step. So as you see, solving a Rubik's Cube is just basically 6 steps, and you actually don't need an algorithm for the first step, but for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth step you actually have algorithms, and we'll be taking a look at these in detail in the next video, and consider how to solve or tackle each step. Look at the different challenges that come up in each step and the algorithms needed to tackle those. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you liked it and understood the 6 basic steps to solve the Rubik's Cube. Please subscribe and like and comment, and watch out for the next video where we will start learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube step by step. Catch you in the next video. Bye bye.